What's going on, crew? Welcome back for another One Piece review. The Voyage continues with episode 1107, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button in order to join the council and become a part of the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody, welcome back for another week of One Piece. Thank you all for joining me again. As always, I hope everybody is doing super fantastic. So for today, we got the 1107 review, and we got a short one, everybody. We only got 2 topics to discuss today, so let's go ahead and get into the review. The Kuma backstory begins as we see Bonnie enter her dad's memory and comes across a young Kuma sitting in an open field. Kuma is in utter distress as he begs and cries for someone to come save him. Bonnie attempts to reach out to her father, but suddenly a group of unknown men arrives to take Kuma away. Kuma adamantly refuses to go with this group of men, but they are not taking no for an answer. Not only are they furious that he escaped, but they are also afraid for their own lives, pleading with Kuma to come back with them so nothing happens to them as well. Kuma keeps resisting, so unfortunately they resort to brute force and they begin to mercilessly beat Kuma into submission in order to take him back. Bonnie quickly rushes to aid her father, but to no avail. She is unable to reach him, as this is just a memory. Before Bonnie gets pushed out of the memory, we can see 2 shadowy figures that resemble celestial dragons. Now, so I did not think we were going to start off this memory with a traumatic experience like this. Oda said he getting straight to the point, and just like Bonnie mentioned, we might all have to, buckle down here and steel ourselves as we head deeper into Kuma's memories here, because it looks like it's gonna be a tough time, everybody. But so it's been a while, but this whole Kuma backstory situation, Kuma's backstory, and whatever we're about to witness here, might actually be the event that get a tear out of me in a long time out of One Piece. It's been a hot second since One Piece got a tear out of me, which leads me to my question of the week, everybody. When was the last time that One Piece made you cry? One Piece is one of the very few animes that actually has gotten a tear out of me. I believe the last time it happened was pre-time skip, during Ace's death and all that. Luffy had just lost his friends and all that as well. My boy was in utter distress, depression, and all that. I believe that was like one of the last times I got a tear out of me. If not, it might have been during the Senior Pink backstory and or during Yasui's death on Wano. But if not, I can't recall fully, but I just know I was definitely in a very heightened emotional state during those events, but I can't remember if those events actually got tears out of me. So yeah, once again, everybody, the question of the week: when did the last time One Piece get a tear out of you? But back to Kuma's situation here, right? My Kuma is Lunarian theory is just it's getting stronger by the day, everybody. We just got another piece added to the puzzle. So not only did we get to see the silver shading in the young Kuma's hair, right? But the 2 shadowy figures that we also saw, at the end of the memory that before Bonnie got pushed out, right? They look very similar to celestial dragons. I'm, really willing to bet money that they're celestial dragons. Just take a look at these images side by side here. But you might be asking, what the hell does, celestial dragons have to do with Kuma's lineage, right? If so, let's just put our thinking caps on for a second, right? If Kuma is Lunarian, right? And then, you already talked about this before, but if the Lunarians actually, lost the battle against lost the war against the Celestial Dragon, 800 years ago, whatever, right? I don't think it would be far-fetched to say that the Celestial Dragons didn't enslave the rest of the surviving Lunarians, and, just kept them as slaves at all this time. I don't think that's far-fetched to say. And they just got some of the descendants that's left, and that's probably why, going back to one of my other things where I was saying, he might not necessarily be a full-blooded Lunarian because, he don't necessarily have wings, or, maybe every Lunarian don't get wings or something like that. We don't know the full history and lore behind Lunarians, right? So there's still a lot of unanswered questions about them. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't say it's far-fetched to say that they wouldn't, that they didn't, enslave the rest of the surviving Lunarians, right? I would actually say it perfectly lines up with, the cruelty and the history that we know about about them so far. But yeah, I just think it perfectly lines up. But it's gonna be a rough watch. I'm not ready for the pain that we're about to experience here in Kuma's memory, but I am ready for the secrets that we're gonna unearth, everybody, because this is like it's gonna be a crazy time. But Kuma, I know we're going through a lot with your backstory right now, but we still got an agenda to push, my boy. All right, we actually got a visual live update of you climbing the wall in this episode, and so that makes 6 episodes of Kuma climbing the red line. How many episodes will it take Kuma to get to the top of the red line, everybody? Only time will tell. But with all that being said, everybody, let's head on to our last section. The search for Vegapunk begins as the crew splits up into multiple teams to cover more ground as they search for Vegapunk. And I'm going to quickly cover our different teams and groups here real quick. So we got Stussy, Jinbei, and Sanji, Edison, Nami, and Brooke, Robin, Atlas, and Chopper in a group. And then we got Lilith, Frankie, Usopp, and York. And then to round it out at the base HQ, if you will, we got Shaka, Luffy, Zoro, and honorable mentions, we got Lucci and Kaku with them as well. But I would like to say I do have high hopes for the Edison's group. I just hope I hope they go accomplish great things together. All right, but the search is going well. Everyone's having a great time as they search for Vegapunk. Nami is looting treasure. Robin and Chopper get to see some advanced medicine, and hopefully we get to see some cool stuff with Stussy's group since they are on the weapons manufacture floor. But however, unfortunately, Lilith's group is not having as much fun as everyone else. As they are searching for Vegapunk, they come across Pythagoras' body, but thankfully he is okay. He was able to survive his assailant's sneak attack due to his real body being very, very small. But as Pythagoras begins to warn the group about, of immediate danger, Seraphim Boa arrives and petrifies York and let the survival games begin, everybody. In general, I was a little disappointed in this episode. I was hoping we was going to get more of a alien survival type episode, right? Hopefully that still may be the case. That still can happen with future episodes because, as we all know, there's only a select few people, in the lab right now that can actually deal with the Seraphim. So, some of the Straw Hats might have to actually run away. And, unfortunately, these groups aren't actually built out in terms of power. I mean, hell, we got both Sanji and Jinbei in one group together with Stussy. Hell, with that group right there is a powerhouse. And that I'm thinking about it. But unfortunately, that power isn't being spread around to the rest of the teams. Like, for example, we got Robin, Atlas, and Chopper in one group all together. Unfortunately, on terms of power, they're the weakest, but hopefully, nothing crazy happens to them, while they're searching for Vegapunk. But, we know the Seraphim have a hierarchy of, whose orders that they follow, things of that nature. And, there's no way Saint J. Garcia stuck onto this island, right? I would hope and imagine that, his entrance, his arrival, to the anime will be a little bit more of a grand style entrance. They just not gonna let him, sneak onto the island, if you will. And, we also got both Lucci and Kaku, they're tied up right now. They could be faking it and whatnot, but, they've been tied up and they've been watched this entire time. So I would like to think that they couldn't, have a chance to issue out an order at this point, right? Hell, at this point, I'm wondering if the Seraphim are being ordered around by someone at all, right? What if they broke free of their code and, gained sentience, so to speak? So, they could be acting of their own free will. That'll be interesting, especially, because of the case that, these clones, I guess you can call them, right, of the Seraphim are there. They are of, modeled after some very strong people. So, what if they, broke free of their code, now they're acting of their own free will and all that. Hopefully our boy Shaka isn't stabbing us in the back. We might have to start keeping an eye on him. He's been the only one, that has access to like the main monitor and all that stuff. So Just like I said, hopefully Shaka ain't stabbing us in the back. We might have to start watching him a little bit heavy here. But to round out this discussion, everybody, I want to give out my favorite scene for 1107, and that was the scene where Nami was trying to take the gems with her as they were searching for Vegapunk. I just love that scene. I love how Edison was, was just trying to keep them on task, and Nami was just like, but the treasure though, the treasure. I guess you're not gonna need this treasure with you. You're leaving the island anyway. Why not just take it with us? I just thought that was funny. So yeah, that was my favorite scene for 1107, Nami trying to take the gems with her off the island. But everybody, that's all I have for this week. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it was a short one this week. It was a short one. Hopefully it looks like the action is gonna start picking up within these next few episodes here. The Seraphim's gonna be going around wreaking havoc amongst the lab again. Hopefully Dr. Vegapunk shows his head sooner or later. Ain't no telling where the hell he's at. I was thinking he was in Kuma's memories, but it doesn't seem to be the case unless, if two people can be in the memories in Kuma's memory at the same time, like they're experiencing they're in there at the same time, but like they're experiencing different memories, so like they can't see each other, and maybe unless it works like that. Ain't no telling what the hell Dr. Vegapunk is at right now. But Dr. Vegapunk, show yourself. We looking for you, man. We got a lot going on right now. But with all that being said, everybody, I will see you all next week for the 1108 review, everybody. Peace.